Potatoes are quite the sophisticated vegetable that almost everyone speaks about. Potato. They may seem a very humble vegetable, but no other vegetable like the potato or potato has had such an impact on world history. So first of all, potatoes are vegetables, not carbs. Vegetables, as you may probably have known, vegetables can either be classified as well as, into two main types based on their starch content. So they can either be starchy vegetables, which include potatoes, of course, corn, peas, lentils, etc. While, the non-starchy varieties would include broccoli, tomatoes, cauliflower, etc. Now, the potatoes have had quite the bad rap in the nutrition world, and it is worth noting that it is both a mover and a shaker that dates back in the 16th century when it was introduced to the European Empire all the way from what is today known as Peru. So originally the potato was known for its vitamin C content and the long shelf life and the ease of cooking, and it therefore became a staple on ships back in the day as well as a darling. Now, with the global population today, it is surprising just how unwelcome potatoes can be in some households and how much of a darling they can be in other households. So here is the good, the bad, and the ugly nutrition facts about the potatoes, and just so that you can be able to know whether to consume them or not. So potatoes can either be consumed by baking, steaming, frying, mashing, etc. Here's a good. So cooked potatoes with skin are a good source of many vitamins and minerals. So such as things like potassium and vitamin C, of course, and the vitamin C in potatoes acts as an antioxidant. So vitamin C can help prevent everything from things like scurvy to the common cold, and potatoes are full of this nutrient with about 45% of the recommended daily intake per one medium baked potato. So that's a good thing. Potatoes may also help in lowering blood pressure for several reasons. One is the fiber found in the potatoes, which could help in lowering cholesterol by binding with the bad cholesterol in the blood, and after it binds, we actually excrete it. So that's another good thing. Now, potatoes are also a good source of potassium, and all potatoes really are potassium rich. They in fact have more potassium than a banana, and a lot of it is found in the potato's skin. So potassium too can help lower blood pressure. How? Through its actions as a vasodilator. So this means that it is a blood vessel widener, which is also a good thing. The other good thing is brain functioning and nervous system. And the B6 vitamin in potatoes is critical to maintain neurological health. So vitamin B6 usually helps create useful brain chemicals, including serotonin, dopamine, and which means that consuming potatoes may help with depression, anxiety, stress, and even perhaps attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD. All right. Now, potatoes are also high in carbohydrates, which may have some advantages, which would include helping maintain good levels of glucose in the blood, which is actually very necessary for proper brain functioning. So that's another good thing. Athletics as well are also beneficiaries of potatoes because they can help restore electrolytes balance. So sodium and potassium, which is found in potato peels, is very important for electrolytes, and athletes lose them in sweat. So electrolytes are necessary for their optimum body functioning, and having too few can cause cramps, as many athletes would possibly know. So here's the bad. Blood sugar. Potatoes are fat-free, yes, but they are also starchy carbohydrates with very little protein. And according to several studies, the carbs in the potatoes are the kind that the body digests rapidly and have a very high glycemic index, and that is to mean that they cause blood sugar and insulin to surge and then dip. This effect can make people feel very hungry again soon after eating, which may lead to overeating. And the rapid rise in blood sugar can also lead to increased insulin production, and not very good for diabetes. The other thing is weight gain. So there is a study that tracked the diet and lifestyle of about 120,000 men and women for about 20 years, and it found out that people who increased their consumption of French fries, baked and mashed potatoes gained more weight over time. And even when prepared in a very healthy way, potatoes can present health problems, especially to people with obesity or diabetes. Potatoes are also very high in simple carbohydrates, which can also mean weight gain. The other bad thing is the potato diet mentality. You know, it is worth noting that, like in 2017, there was an Australian man called Andrew Taylor, who appeared in the headlines for having eaten almost nothing but potatoes for a whole year. And guess what? They lost 49 kgs. So this sparked quite a huge public interest in the potato diet. And I would never recommend this, because such a diet would mean that it is almost impossible to get all the 20 essential amino acids and 30 vitamins and minerals that you would need from one food. So a mix of white and sweet potatoes would, however, get you very close to that goal, you know, than any other food. So nevertheless, your health would still suffer from eating nothing but potatoes all year, okay? Then there's the thing about potato allergy. So potato allergy is relatively rare, but some people may be allergic to patatine, which is one of the main proteins in the potatoes. And the ugly bit about potatoes is potato toxicity. So plants of the nightshade family, such as potatoes, contain a classic toxic phytonutrient known as glycoalkaloid. And in low doses, this usually causes mild symptoms, okay? So such as things like headache, stomach pain, diarrhea, nausea, and vomiting. However, in more serious cases, you might find some symptoms that would include neurological disorders, rapid breathing, fast heartbeat, low blood pressure, fever, and sometimes death. Normally, potatoes contain only a trace amount of glycoalkaloids, and a 70 kg individual, for instance, would have to eat about 2 kgs of the potatoes with the skin on in one day to get a lethal dose. So that said, lower amounts may still cause some adverse symptoms, and the levels of glycoalkaloids are higher in the peels and the sprouts other than any other part of the potato, all right? So it's best to avoid eating potato sprouts. In the long run, again, you might ask me, you may be wondering, which would be the best way to cook your potatoes for you to have the health benefits? So you can already guess that smothering the potatoes in cream or frying them is not the healthiest way to consume them, okay? So the best way to eat a potato is in its unprocessed form, okay? And baking the potato is the best way to prepare it and preserve all the nutrients in it. So the next best way could be steaming it, which causes less nutrient loss than boiling. And however, if you decide to actually boil your potatoes, please note that some vitamins may be lost along the way. And as much as 80% of a potato's vitamin C may actually go down the drain if you boil the vegetable. So the same thing can happen with peeled potatoes that are left to soak in water for a long time. You know how we use this to stop darkening of the potatoes. However, if you use the water from the boiling of the potato, you would still get some of the nutrients that would have been lost. So there you have it. This sophisticated vegetable is quite the deal in the nutrition world. It was in fact the first vegetable to be grown in space in 1995. So now there you have it. Until next time, please keep going potatoes. And remember that you are what you eat, so do it right. Bye.